Today I'm going to show you how to create a budget in Google Docs. So you want to open up a new Google Docs sheet, and we're going to name it, we're just going to name it 2020 budget. Then we come down to the first line and we're going to actually put the title of our budget, which this I'm just going to name again 2020 budget, but if you wanted to say like household budget or something, you could put that as the title. We're going to click off of it just onto any random cell and then click back on it. Click and hold and drag over about 4 or 5 cells. Then we're going to come up here to this here. It says merge cells. Click that. It makes it nice and merged, so now it's all one cell. And we want to center it, so we come over here to alignment and center. And you know what? I want to bold it so that it actually looks like a title. And I'm going to increase it to 18. You can do whatever you want, but it just makes it look nicer. Now on the second line. The second line is where we're going to put income. That's just what we're going to type, income. And we're also going to bold it because you want to start your budget with income. That's the money you've got coming in. That's the exciting part. That's what people love. So, okay, we're starting with income. And then next to income, because it's the yearly 2020 budget, we're going to put the months. So I know we already had January, but we're going to put January. And then I'm hitting the arrow key to go over. And you can even use abbreviations, except, you know, it needs to make sense. November, December. Okay. So now we have our income line, and then these are also a heading line. So actually, just, I'm going to click on this. It highlights, by clicking on this number 2 over here, it's also the same with clicking on one of the letters up here, the A, B, C. It highlights the whole entire row, so I don't have to click and drag. And then I'm going to bold them all because they're my headings. So for income, we can put, okay, our job, generic, and then maybe you get Social Security, so we'll put SI for Social Security. And you'll put, maybe for your job, you make $1,000 a month since you're getting Social Security, and maybe through the Social Security you're getting $500. So you put those down for the month. We're just going to do January right now. The next thing you're going to put on your income thing is going to be income total. So this is where we get into the math section of what Google Sheets can do. So we're just starting this budget, but for income total, you want to do the sum. So in Google Sheets, you're actually going to go over here to these 3 dots that says more. And you're going to click on it, and then you're going to click this symbol here. It says it's functions. And you're going to click on sum. So sum, and then you're going to enter your values. You can enter the value by just clicking on the 2 before it, clicking and dragging. And you see it says equals sum, and then in parentheses, B3 colon B4. That means B3 through B4. So if you had a longer list, like we will for expenses, it's the entire list. This is how you would write it if you were going to write it by hand too. And you can see it's up here in the functions bar as well. So that's what the cell equals. And then we're going to just hit enter on our keyboard. So it totaled it for us. It totaled job and Social Security as $1,500. You notice if I click just on job, the summary of the box is just 1,000, but if I click on income total, it shows the function because that's what we put in the box. So that's how you can tell if, hey, is this number coming from a function, an equation, or is it just a number that was typed in? Now we're going to move on to expenses. The dreary expenses, which are always more than the income, it seems. And we're going to hit that bold button and we're going to make it bigger, even though we don't want to see that. And again, we're going to do the months except I'm just going to copy and paste, and that's a thing in Google Sheets. Often you can't just hit the copy and paste button. So I highlighted it and right-clicked to get that drop-down menu. But typically in Google Docs you can't do that, so you need to highlight it and then hit Control-C on your keyboard for copy. And then to paste it, you'll hit Control-V to paste. Now, I just pasted through July because I didn't feel like writing them all. But if you were doing your actual budget, you'd write them all out. And then we're going to start listing expenses. Yay! So let's start with mortgage, because a lot of people have mortgage, and groceries. And just go down the list. I'm only writing a few. I'm sure you have more than this stuff here, but I'm just giving you an idea. And phone, because phone is a big expense. Okay, so then for the month that we're going for, we'll just type in what the expenses are. Now these can be projected expenses, because you know every month your mortgage is going to be $1,100, or they can be estimated expenses. Maybe you don't actually have a grocery budget because grocery prices keep going up, or your family just eats sporadically, so maybe you're just guessing it's around $200. Or you're guessing for gas because you don't really know. You can estimate, but gas prices fluctuate so much and there's not really much you can do with cutting gas prices out. So just estimate the best you can based off of previous months. And I'm just making these numbers up. Okay, and then of course, at the end of expenses, we have to have expenses total. Boo! But it's the same thing as income total. You go over here to the little function box, which is still up because I hit those 3 dots, and you hit functions, and then you hit sum. And now this popped up for me. I'm just going to X out of it because it's over what I want to type. And I'm going to click on this first one and drag down. And then I'm going to, you see it says in the box, equals sum parentheses B8 colon B15. So it is saying it is going to sum up, it's going to add everything from B8, which is here, B8, B8, kind of like Battleship, all the way down to B15. And then you're just going to hit enter, and it gives you that total. So that total, whew, it's a spicy $2,060, and that's not even all of the expenses I'm sure we have. But that is the basics of adding your income and expenses. Now you're like, okay, time for the actual budget part, because you want to see if you've got more going out than you've got coming in, and how to fix that. So you want to do budget total. We'll just put budget total. And that means your income minus your expenses. So again, we go over to this next one, your budget total for January. We're going to do that function key again. We're actually going to go to average, because average is the subtraction one. So click on average and then come over here and see it says equals average and then the parentheses. Well, say I clicked on expenses total and then I was like, oh no, I wanted to do income total first. You can just backspace it and then click on income total. Now this one isn't letting me click on both of them because I need to add that minus symbol first. So I'm going to click minus, and then I'm going to type in this expense total here, which is B16. And then I'm going to hit enter. So now my budget total is, it is in fact more going out than coming in. I have more expenses than I have income. Very sad. And if you need it, there are undo buttons up here. The undo button is your friend. So say I entered in something wrong. Say I accidentally entered in B15. I click that undo button, it wipes it out for me. Oh no, I didn't mean to click the undo button. Whoops, click the redo button. It redoes it for me. Very handy to have. Now, you'll notice none of these are actually in dollar currency. which you can see up here, I can put them in that. So I'm going to highlight, I'm going to click on B. That highlights everything in column B. Now, you know what? I'm just going to, I was going to highlight it, but that didn't work. Okay, click off. I'm going to highlight everything up until May and make it the dollar one. You can just do the whole thing, but for me right now, it's easier just to do up until May. And now you can see everything is a dollar amount, and if I enter anything in the future, it is now a dollar amount. So you've got the dollar amount, you've got the budget total. Let's look at formatting cells, because that's a fun part that we can do. So go to Format and click on Conditional Formatting all the way down here. So you see, I can go through, B18 is the cell that I'm on, and let's say I want it to be, because it's a negative, I want it to be in red. So let's say if it's less than 0, so we're going to put 0 there, then I'm going to go down here to Fill Color. I'm going to change it to a nice bright red. Ugh, not what we want to see in our budget, but it helps. It's conditional formatting. And say for the one next to it, it was plus 500. Woot woot! That would be awesome. Let's do the conditional formatting for that one. So the conditional formatting, say we want it to be green because it's in the plus, we can go down here and we can do greater than or equal to. I'm gonna say 0 again for that. You could do any number you wanted. And then we're gonna make it green. Yay, happy green. We'll make it a nice bright green so we can read the letters, the numbers, and yay, that's our conditional formatting. As you can see, there are a lot of options. You don't have to worry about most of them, but you can just take a look and play with them as you want. So that is how you create a budget for your year or for your month. You just go through, you put in your income, you put in your expenses, and then you have the totals, and then you have a line that adds up those totals for you. And I believe, so for this one, I believe if I take this corner and drag it over here, it actually, yes, it actually creates the formula copy. It copies the formula to the next one. So if I want to do that for all of them, so I don't have to keep doing that same formula of, you know, this letter, the expense total, the income total minus the expense total, then you would do that. And as you see, it adjusts it for each column. So if I clicked on D's, it has the D one. So it's a little bit smart there for you. Best of luck to you with your budget, and I hope that was helpful.